So let's start off with some never have I ever questions. Never have I ever come to class without a lesson plan.
It's like,
Lie. Yeah.
it's all about flexibility.
He does flex a lot.
He does.
Okay, next one. Never have I ever had a favorite student or group of students.
By far.
I feel like you're lying. Mr. Zonner. Mr. Zonner, that's a lie, and you know it.
I probably lied to you about liking you.
I hate to say I have favorites, but every year there's like one group that is like your favorite group, you know?
I have ones I don't like.
No,
Yeah, you should have asked that. You should have asked that question.
Your favorite
Students
group.
you don't like.
That would be that's on halves across the board.
All right. Never have I ever showed up to class late.
Oh.
How late?
All the
More
time.
than 10 minutes late.
We should ask, have anyone ever forgotten to come to school?
Where's Renkowitz? Where's Renkowitz?
Never have I ever showed up to class more than 10 minutes late.
Never.
It was weather related.
Oh, okay.
It was weather related. It's not like I forgot.
But Greg was watching the class.
That's right.
All right.
I'm
never
usually
left
out
Barely, but I.
Who tells me these things?
I'm usually out in the hallway having meaningful conversations with
Right.
somebody.
Right. Meaningful. Meaningful. Meaningful.
What is the funniest thing that has happened to you at HHS?
Well, I'm not telling you.
I don't think we can divulge our lunch conversations, but I would argue it's our lunch conversations.
I have one that's appropriate. So I was outside with a class out there, and we were, it was like my seniors in AP Gov. We were having like a barbecue out there because we had just had the AP test, and I don't know if they were bringing in stuff for like one of the drama productions or the senior auction or something like that. And this someone's mom was like comes up to me and she's like, young man, can you and your friends help us carry this in? And I was like, I was like, is she talking to me? Like, I didn't really realize. And then like she must have thought like I had like brain damage because she was just like, young man, can you and your friends please help me carry this in? And I was just like, yeah. And then I was kind of like, hey guys, can you like, so she, I don't know, it was just this really awkward, like, I didn't know at what point to be like, I'm the teacher. So I just like directed my students to do it, and I didn't do anything, so I'm sure this mother was like, who the heck does this guy think he is? This kid just telling everybody else what to do. But,
That's been the
yeah.
captain of the football team.
So I can tell you something that didn't happen to me, but I witnessed it, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and one of our teachers came in, and we needed to replace the cartridge, what's it called?
Toner.
The toner cartridge in the copier machine. And he took the cartridge out, and he started shaking it, and the whole thing exploded on him, and he was covered in black toner from head to toe.
Okay, that wasn't me.
It was not Mr. White. It was,
That would have been ironic.
I fell over laughing. He was very angry at the situation and at me, and he actually had to go home to change. He lived in Hopkinton, but we were there so early that he was able to go home and change before school started. So nobody knew about it except for me and now the world.
Okay.
It might be a small world.
I had a substitute ask me when my baby was due.
Oh, I was there for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
crawled under the desk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Needless to say, I was not pregnant. So life lesson, kids, never ask a woman if she's pregnant, even if it's blatantly obvious.
You handled it so well.
Thank you.
I didn't, but you did.
Yeah.
Would you punch her?
I wanted to. In the throat.
Wow.
That is the place to punch.
You all are the Kardashian family. Who would be each member and why?
I don't know any of those.
I don't.
I don't either.
My first thought Was Mr. Bernstein is Chloe? Because he's the biggest.
I don't even know why this is
Is
funny.
Chloe the one with the big butt?
Yes.
Isn't that all of
Do
them?
they all, I
She
don't.
did, she was married to
Listen,
softball.
I got a big belly, not a big gut.
Worked very hard for that.
Are we including like the Jenners too?
Yeah.
All right, do me next.
So do you
Oh, I don't know. I only.
Alright, so pick from.
I gotta line them up in size order, and then
I think I'm Caitlyn Jenner.
I knew you were going there.
Mr. White is Kendall because Kendall's the tallest. Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Wait, that I think
Miss Lasher is probably the mom because she's in charge.
Boss lady.
That's right.
So who are you?
I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
Rob.
You're the boyfriend.
I'll be Rob.
Is the mom married?
Personal life is a mess.
No? She have a
No, I
boyfriend?
don't know.
Yeah, she has
Right.
a boyfriend.
Who's her boyfriend?
I have no idea.
Can I be
It's my
Lord
worry.
Disick instead?
Go ahead.
I mean, like,
the fact that you know all these.
Yeah,
names.
this is a whole new mess.
Oh, this is your secret talent.
Are you married her? He's a millennial, of course he knows the
I know who
title.
these people are.
Scott Disick flipped.
Gone a detention when I was in high school.
Many.
Mr. White.
I was accused of dropping the F-bomb in Mr. Lace's algebra class. And I didn't do it, it was my friend Becky, but she didn't own up to it, so I had to serve the detention.
That's very
I don't remember what I did. I was probably innocent.
Yeah, everyone's innocent over here.
Well, in 4th grade, by the second week of school, I had enough detentions to get me to Thanksgiving. But I went after school one day and I cried, and my teacher, Mr. Jacobs, let me off the hook.
Wow.
Mr. White.
I was caught forging my mother's signature on a warning notice, and I would maintain that the signature was flawless. It was only that I didn't improve, and the teacher called, and I was grounded for my entire sophomore year.
Alright, let's go down the line. Mr. White.
We locked Mr. Allen out of this classroom. What's worse is that we weren't even in there as well. We just locked the whole place, the whole room up, and we went on an excursion, and he couldn't find us.
Mr. Rudy.
So in the, like, this was probably early in high school, and like cell phones like really weren't like prevalent, and like teachers weren't like able to keep time on their cell phones. So we had like a period here where there was 3 lunches. So for like a week, maybe a week and a half, every time we had this one class in that period, before our teacher got in, we would go up and take the clock off the wall, and we would turn it ahead to the lunchtime, and then we would put it back up on the wall. And so it would be like 10 minutes into class, and she would look at the clock and be like, oh, it's time for lunch, and then we would go to lunch. But how this like ended was badly, of course, was that one of the times she like, my friend was putting the clock back on the wall after changing it, and he put it up there like as she was walking in, so he like put it up there really fast, and he like jumped down, and she was like, what were you doing? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I don't remember what he said, but it was like a terrible excuse. And so the class is going on, and like 5 minutes into class, the clock falls off of the wall and just shatters everywhere. And then like all of a sudden it all came racing back to her, like, oh, this kid was up near the clock, and then she was like, what have you guys been doing? And then so we got found out. So
Mr. Finassi always brought in a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and then when he was done with it, he would rinse it out and fill it up with water at the bubbler. And we used to once in a while put a hole in it in the bottom with the tack, and then set it on the desk. So you couldn't tell that there was leaking water, but then he'd be talking, walking back and forth, doing his history lecture, which is all we ever did. And he'd be walking with the water and drinking it, it'd be slowly dripping. So by the time he knew it was actually all over his pants, he'd be so mad. And when he got mad, he'd spit, and like, you did not want to be in the front row.
The views expressed in this video are not necessarily the views of anyone.
In this video.